This is going to be a rant. There might be some swearing. I am just warning you now because something is making me absolutely furious. And somebody needs to say something about it. And I guess it's gonna be me. I am seeing some astrologers on social media right now gloating, absolutely gloating that their predictions came true, celebrating, taking victory laps. What in the actual hell? When something terrible happens in the world and the first thing an astrologer does is run to social media and say, I called it, I was right about this. What exactly is the goal there? Are you happy now, astrologer, that you did that? Are you glad you were right about suffering and pain? Are you happy to see comments under your videos and posts fueling your ego that you were right? There is a difference between understanding astrology and needing to be the one who called it. When did astrology become about the astrologer instead of the person they're supposed to be helping? And that includes persons, as in the collective. This prediction flex is all about, look at me, look how smart I am, look how I saw this coming. It centers the astrologer. It makes them the story. Meanwhile, the people actually affected by what's happening in the world, they're not a footnote. They're not your proof of concept. They're real people with real lives. And what does it say about someone that their first instinct when something terrible happens is not empathy? It's not reflection. It's not, how can I help my community process through this? But instead, it's, I told you so. I was right. That tells you everything you need to know about where their astrology is coming from. It is coming from ego and not from service. And yeah, this pisses me off. There's this very misguided idea floating around that if you predicted this, that means then you're a good astrologer. Oh, you're good. That prediction accuracy is the measure of skill. Really? That's how we're defining good astrology? Not by whether you helped someone navigate their life, not by whether you gave someone clarity or tools or a way to use the energies, but instead it's all about whether you called it on the date that something terrible happened. If that's what makes you a good astrologer, I don't want any part of that bullshit. Some of these astrologers have built their entire identity around being the one who warns you. They're the doom prophets, and they need bad things to happen in order to validate their identity. I mean, think about that. Their entire brand depends on suffering. Their content calendar needs catastrophe. That is not astrology. That's an ego structure that feeds on collective pain. Here's the deeper problem. This gloating reveals something about how these doom astrologers view astrology itself. They do see it as a prediction tool, a forecasting machine. I told you X would happen on Y date. And when it does, they get their gold star and everybody's applauding them on social media, feeding their ego. Oh, you were right. You were right. But that is not what astrology is for. Astrology at its best is a tool for insight and reflection. It describes the energetic conditions we're working with. It does not tell you what absolutely will happen, but it helps you understand what you're navigating and how to use the energies. As I say all the time on this channel, it's a mirror, not a crystal ball. The moment you turn astrology into a prediction contest, you've stripped it of everything that actually helps people, because prediction removes agency. If it's already decided, then what's the point? Why would you even try to use the energies if somebody already told you what is exactly going to happen? Here's exactly the outcome. That is the damage, not just the ego of some of these people. Yeah, that is gross in and of itself. But underneath it is a philosophy of astrology that takes power away from people instead of giving it to them. And that is what pisses me off. That is the opposite of what I think good astrology is, and totally opposite of what I do on this channel. You have the power and agency, not some doom prophet's ego. And when we're talking about doom predictions about world events, it gets even worse, because what are those predictions actually doing for the audience? What is anyone supposed to be doing with, I predicted this terrible thing and I was right? Should we all just go sit in a corner and be afraid? Should we stop making plans for our lives? We should just hand over our power and agency because some doom prophet astrologer told us the sky was falling? That is not insight. That is a hostage situation for people's nervous systems. If you have a platform and people trust you, you have a responsibility. And that responsibility is not to predict doom and then take a bow for doing so. It's to help people understand what they're living through and give them some insights, some tools they can actually use in their lives. And here's the thing that really gets me. If you believe astrology works, if you believe in energy, in consciousness, in the idea that thoughts and intentions carry weight, that what we think manifests, then what are you doing creating with your doom? What are you feeding into the collective? You can't claim to understand how energy works and then flood the field with fear and call it insight. That's not insight. That's irresponsibility. If thoughts create things, then what exactly are the doom astrologers creating? What are they creating? That's where I stand. I'm here to help you use the stars to feel more empowered, not more terrified. And, if that's what you're looking for too, then stick around. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. I really appreciate you tuning in and listening to my rant. I just really felt it was something that had to be said at this particular moment in time, especially because nobody's ego should be glorified in this manner. It is gross, it is unprofessional, and irresponsible. And if you too are really tired of these shenanigans with these doom and gloomers and their egos terrifying people and saying they were right, look at me, well, hit that thumbs up. Let me know. That'll let me know. You can leave a comment too. But I think this is an important discussion. Maybe I was a little ranty, but an important discussion to have in the astrology world, because in my opinion, it's a problem. Okay. And like I said, I will not have any part of it at all. It's not okay. It's not okay. Anyway, thank you for being here. Love you guys. Take care. I will see you again soon. Stella Wilde, signing out.